Welcome. Today we're going to talk about navigating your career changes during menopause. So, welcome. What we're going to look at today. So, whoops, went a bit too far then. What are we expecting from today? So we know that during our menopausal phase, there's lots of changes that can happen, and it can affect how we work, how our career progresses. And we're going to talk a little bit about what can happen and some of the things we can do about it. So, who am I? I'm Tracy Montgomery. I'm an older single mum to one amazing daughter who has her own medical issues to deal with whilst I'm going through this menopause journey. So, what do I know about menopause? Well, yeah, I hit that, I don't know, what do we call it? Train crash, unexpectedly, when I thought I'd got past it. And even when I went to my gynecologist, eventually went to a gynecologist, the first thing she said to me was, you should be out the other side. Well, obviously I wasn't, and I'm not. And that led me to start investigating the time span, the time window, and how these events can occur. So I've had quite extreme menopausal symptoms. I had extreme pain, shaking, hot sweats, memory loss. Probably as I go through this, I will even have what's on the screen and I'll forget what I'm talking about. I still do that. All due to my menopausal symptoms. So luckily, I have a fantastic nurse at our local pharmacy surgery who helps support me. So I'm now on HRT, which has been amazing. But again, if you go that route, which isn't in this little video that we're doing today, if you go that route, don't expect to be it a one-stop shop. There are other things that we can do. And the thing about menopause is your hormones are dropping off. So the HRT that you're going to be given may need tweaking. Don't expect to be given the first dose and it's going to work straight away. It's not like that. You might have to tweak it as we go through the journey. So you're not the only woman going through this. You're not going to be the only woman that ever goes through this. All of us are going to be affected. So the statistics are pretty horrendous. So 51% of us are female. That means that 51% of us are at some point going to go through menopause, be it naturally or be it through a medical intervention of some description. 1 in 4 of us, that's a quarter of us, are going to consider our career either leaving the workforce, changing direction due to menopausal symptoms. And 80% experience at least one symptom that can impact your work and your working ability. They're quite high figures. And for us not to be aware of that is quite alarming. So, common symptoms that you're bound to have heard of: hot flashes and night sweats. Okay, walk into a room and you flush, normally when you're in the queue to the shopping or something like that. And at night, trying to get comfortable at night during this transition can be quite taxing for a number of us. Fatigue, and then you get difficulty sleeping. So my fatigue, I've got chronic fatigue now because of this. I am tired all the time, but 3 o'clock in the morning, am I asleep? Doesn't seem to make any difference. So sleep issues and fatigue issues, and that can obviously impact how your brain is functioning and how you think, and then how you can operate the next day. Brain fog, we've all done this. We talk to somebody we know that person, but can we think of their name? Yeah, I know. And then we do things like we put the keys in the fridge, milk in the bath, all that sort of thing. And trying to stay focused our focus can be lost at this stage, which can be quite frustrating. Mood swings, irritability. Now, we know when we were teenagers and we had our mood swings, it was like, oh, yeah, that's all due to hormones. Well, it's the same now. Your mood swings are due to hormones. The thing is, your brain has got used to your hormones being there, and these are your nurture hormones, and now they've gone. So your anxiety can increase, your mood swings, because there's nothing to regulate them. Okay, so this may not affect you at work, but it can be uncomfortable. Okay, so how can these impact your career? So let's think about it. If we're fatigued, if we're not sleeping, we're not going to have the energy levels that we used to. So those simple jobs may become quite difficult for us to complete in a timely manner. So our productivity can decrease. We may not be able to concentrate on the job at hand. So depending on the type of jobs, if you're on a production line, if you're on a keyboard, you might not be able to concentrate on what it is that you're doing, and that may lead to your distractions. Sleep disturbances. That will, again, even though we've got reduced energy levels, sleep disturbances can increase the fatigue and make it difficult for us to keep that focus. And then obviously, those mood swings. We don't want to be known as Moody Mary in the office, do we? We don't want to be the one that's saying, oh, what's wrong with you? Because we do. Those are terms that we use, even though as women, as females, we know that we are all going to go through this. So that can make our teamwork with our colleagues quite difficult for us to do. And if we're having these hot flashes and we're sweating, we need to think about the clothing that we're wearing, because it can be quite uncomfortable. And it can make our ability to function a little bit difficult if we are sweating too much. So, what sort of things can we do? Okay, so we can dress differently. Like, layers are always good, because we can take layers off, we can put layers on. We may even need to take a change of clothing with us to our workplace. Now, if your symptoms are extreme, do what I did, talk to your doctor. I'm not a medical professional, so I cannot prescribe anything to you. I cannot recommend anything to you. I can signpost you to where you can go to get that support. Obviously, doctor, first port of call. But we know that our stress is going to be rising because our hormones to maintain that stress are depleting. So we need to start thinking about how we can relax. So relaxation techniques, things like deep breathing, bit of meditation, that time for you to extract everything, let everything, dump everything out of your brain so that your brain can switch off. And we also know at any time in our lives, especially now, that meditation, see, talk about getting distracted, so that a healthy diet can have a huge effect on how we function. And we've got to stay hydrated on there. So as we reach this menopausal transition, some of us may find that we need to go to the toilet a little bit quicker than we used to. So there is a tendency not to drink as much, but then that has more implications as well. So we do still need to stay hydrated so that our cells can function properly. And we need to think about our sleep. Sleep is imperative through every stage of life, in particular now, because we've got higher levels of fatigue. So we need to make sure that we've got a regular sleep schedule and that our sleep hygiene is prominent. So things like making sure that your bedroom's cool, that you've turned off all the white noise that's around you, that you're sleeping in clothing that is cool, And if you need, I don't know if you're like me, I need to have something over me, no matter how hot it is outside. I need to have something over me to be able to sleep. So think about the type of bedding that you use. There are products on the market now that keep you cool at night. So we can look into those as well at some point. So if you are struggling, first thing that you could do is talk to your employers. Now, I don't know how big the company is that you're working for. If you are working for a company, you might be working for yourself. But discuss your needs with your manager, with your employer, so that they know, they understand. Be clear about how those symptoms are impacting you at work. Discuss how things can be made easier for you, like comfort breaks, like having lots of tissues or deodorants or protections within the bathroom facilities so that you can go in there and comfortably you can sort yourself out without feeling like you're the only one that's going through it. Because if you're in a big workplace, chances are that you're not. And then you may, depending on the type of work that you're in, be able to discuss flexibility, a little bit of flexibility in how you work. Obviously, if you're on a production line, that might be a little bit different. But if it's office-based work, if it's telephone-based work, there could be some flexibility there that you could change your schedule. You could do some of the work from home. It was done a lot through COVID, so there are ways that this can be manipulated. But make sure that as you're going through this, it shouldn't be sort of a career review at all, but highlight what your skills are and how you are beneficial to the company. Bear in mind that you may be worried at this stage because you're feeling like you can't work and you may be thinking that there are no other options out there. So you need to highlight that you are of value to the company and that to bring somebody else in and train them up to your level is going to cost them more money than it is to retain you. That's if you want to stay there, obviously. But let's think about our menopausal journey in a different light. So when we're a teenager and we're going through puberty, it's like we're becoming an adult. It's a new time. We're not a kid anymore. We have these responsibilities. We can do more because we are becoming an adult. What about menopause being an opportunity as a new start? It's a new phase of life. So it can give time for self-reflection, re-evaluation, so that we can stop and think about where we are, where we're at. We have a huge catalogue of skill set with experience, our expertise, be that, I mean, now I know there's going to be some of you here going, well, I haven't done much in my life. You may have raised a family. Think about the expertise that's there. Think about the soft skills that you may have brought to the table raising a family. Those are the sort of skills that we tend to try and brush over, but they're still important. Nurturing skills are still important within a team set as well. But you can also think about new challenges. You know that saying that we were told when we were younger, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Scrap it. Because you can. We can all change and we should be. We should be changing. We should be evolving and we should never stop learning. So we could always go for a different route, whatever phase in life we are, so that will help us to increase our confidence and we can set goals again. Just because we are ladies of a certain age does not mean to say that we can't have goals and aspirations. So think about what we can be doing. We've talked about goals and aspirations, but one of the main things that we get frustrated about or we get concerned about at this time is our future financial stability. Now, there are more women in this age bracket that are finding themselves on their own, or their future financial planning is not as expected for when they retire, when you retire. So if our finances aren't secure, that is going to be another added level of stress. So your hormones aren't coping anyway. So that's making you stressed. And then the fact that your financial security may be a little bit challenged is going to add to your overall stress and well-being as well. So what do you need to look at? We've already stated that more women over 50 are finding themselves on their own. There are certain areas around the world where the demographic of being over 50 and on your own is increasing rapidly. We know, because we've already said, that up to 40% of women have struggled to maintain the same financial status that they did prior to menopause. We also know, because this is how it has happened, that women take the burden of the caring for the rest of the family. So be that your own children and their children, be that older relatives, be that other family members that need more caring commitments, the responsibility is normally put onto, I'm not saying that it is all the time, but in the majority of cases, it is the female member of the family that takes the caring responsibilities. So things that you can start to do. Okay, so if your finances aren't turning out as you wanted them to, and you've got responsibilities elsewhere, so your time is becoming less, increasing your hours may not logistically be possible, and increasing your hours may be daunting due to you already being quite fatigued. I mean, who wants to work more when they're tired? So you might want to think about different options that are out there for you to maximize or increase your income. Now, we live in a time where there are, excuse me, number of opportunities out there that are not as we expected them to be 30, 40 years ago. So you do not have to keep on swapping all the time your time for money, the per hour rate. There are other ways to earn money. The first thing that you would want to do at this stage is to find out where you're at. So work out your budget. And when I say budget, you need a financial budget, you need a time budget as well, because there are only 24 hours in a day. There are 7 days in a week. So there's only so much time that you can put onto doing everything that you need to do. But wouldn't it be nice if you could travel more if you want to travel more, buy more if you want to buy more, work on your terms when you want, where you want, and add more money to your month. Now, you could do that alongside what you are doing now, and it wouldn't have to impact as much as if you went out to get a job. So, if you have looked at your finances, if you have looked at your situation and you're thinking, excuse me, that you're not in the exact place where you want to be at the moment, give me a call. We can have a chat about how things are going on your menopausal journey, how we can improve your menopausal journey, and we can have a look at your finances and see how we can improve your future financial outcome. I'm Tracy Montgomery. I talk about all things menopause, midlife, and losing my voice, and all the Try that again, shall I? My name is Tracy Montgomery. I talk about all things menopause, midlife, and all that goes with it. Look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to give me a buzz and we can discuss things further. So I will talk to you soon. Stop the screen. And I look forward to speaking to you in future sessions. Bye for now.